Just wanted to say thank you for everyone who has stayed with the channel from day one or early on. We have gone down a lot of roads and we have explored a great many theories, not all of which are mutually exclusive. The one thing that we can say for certain, though, is that the story from the Navy doesn't add up. It doesn't pass the sniff test, and it doesn't even agree with logic or common sense. This idea, however, of a mine obviously caught some attention because of the video that got somehow erased in mid-viewership and cut me off mid-sentence. I don't know how even someone who wanted to do that purposefully could do it. And that's what really perplexes me, that you can upload a video and then take it down and then re-upload something, but you can't, once a video is up, you can't edit the content of the video after it's posted without reposting it. So I pursue this mind theory based on that, and the more I pursue it, the more I see that we might be going down the exact road they don't want us to, because the implications of this are frightening for the world economy. If some power, the Chinese, the North Koreans, the Russians, whomever, have the ability to place selective mines that will allow certain ships to pass, but target others, and if they could mine the harbors of the world with these types of mines, perhaps equipped with a certain code that would be transmitted to disable them, they could control all of the world's shipping, simply because of how the insurance companies would react to it. The one thing about insurance companies, they don't care about political intrigue. They only care about what they have to pay out. And if there's an area that has these types of mines, the insurance that would need to be paid by the person or company transiting this area is going to make it cost prohibitive to do business there. And that is what the goal of the Chinese and the Russians and the North Koreans have been in Asia with the US. They want to make it not attractive. They want the US to withdraw. The withdrawing from the TPP was part of it. They want that area for themselves. There's all sorts of resources under the South China Sea that they want for themselves, and they just don't like the US military nosing around in their backyard. So this idea of a mine would have to be something that would be kept under wraps if the US knew about it. And I have this idea, and I don't know if it's right or not, but let's assume for a minute that Captain Benson, who was the captain of a minesweeper, now captain of a destroyer, was on one of these types of missions to find one of these stealth mines. And here comes the ACX crystal. And it's heading for one of these mines. If the commander is under radio silence and he can't communicate this to that ship, what do you think his choice would have been? If he was in the middle of an operation to disarm the mine and he hadn't completed it and this ship was going to hit it, do you think it would be possible that maybe he would put his ship in between the cargo ship and the mine, sacrificing it, maybe hitting the mine in the process, and then taking the hit from the cargo ship to save the cargo ship getting hit by it? Because a destroyer could take that damage a lot more easy than a 700-foot cargo ship could. The crystal would be on the bottom, and if it was investigated at that time, the US Navy wouldn't be able to cover it up. And then it would come out, and then the world economy would have a problem. Now, I know that's just another theory, but that's kind of what the channel's about. It's about putting out ideas. And others have, and to be very honest and truthful and forthright about this, I got put down this road by people in the comments section. Because this is a result of me having looked at the transcript of the Admiral's remarks that completely left out the idea about the screw being locked and the backup navigation and the magnetic compass and all this. That led me to the idea of mine damage, and there's also other people that I look back and they came and commented, said, you put out the idea of mine videos ago, and they're absolutely right. And I glossed it over. I apologize. There's just thousands and thousands and thousands of comments, and I don't get a chance to see them all. But I also wanted to share something with you that I thought was very interesting. Commander Benson was the commander of a ship called the USS Guardian. That was a minesweeper. And I want to read you this little blurb of an event that happened 17 January 2013 on this ship. USS Guardian ran aground on the Tubataha National Marine Park reef after 4 a.m. local time and stuck approximately 80 miles east-southeast of Palawan Island. No one was injured. The site is protected by Philippine law and is off limits to navigation except for research or tourism approved by this management office. MCM5 did not have a permit to enter, and Guardian's officers ignored Marine Park Rangers when told that they were entering a protected area. When the Rangers warned the ship's officers that they would be boarding it, the ship's crew took battle positions with their weapons, forcing the Rangers to back off. Do you remember anything about this 17 January 2013? That a United States ship took up arms against Philippine Rangers in an area, and I just want to show you real quick where this is. And I might have covered this before, but just to zoom out here, here's Japan, and here's the Philippines, and you see this little strip of land between the Philippines and the Spratlys? Well, that area, that Tubataha, I believe, is down in this little port right here, and it's incredibly shallow, and they were way up in super shallow water. It's somewhere in this region, I'll find it, but it was very close to the Spratlys. And I can only think of one reason a minesweeper would be up that close. And you also have to remember that if they really were putting mines, the Chinese or the North Koreans, in this area in order to tank the world economy or to hold the Japanese hostage one way or the other, the U.S. couldn't put a bunch of minesweeper ships in there. That would pretty much just give away the game. Once people realized that there were possibly mines in this area, that would have the same effect as if somebody hit a mine. So that's maybe why they had to have a captain of a destroyer who used to be the captain of a minesweeper, somebody who had the ability to look at a sonar return or an underwater sensor return and see this. Now, I want to find this article real quick about how, yeah, here it is. These new generations of mines, they can be disguised to look like seaweed or rocks. And this is from the Robert Lindbergh, commander of the U.S. Mine Countermeasure Squadron 7, based in Sasebo, Japan. And it talks about how much the Navy is worried about this. There are mines that can actually pinpoint the size and shape of a ship in the water as it's passing by at various speeds. I mean, when you can have a mine that can sit there, look like a rock or a piece of seaweed or whatever, and can sit and just pick and choose which ship it's going to attack, you deploy these things covertly, and you get them all in place, and then all of a sudden one day you flip the switch. I don't care how many minesweepers you have in the world, you're not going to be able to deal with these people. And plus, it's not going to be a matter of if a ship actually gets hit or not, it's going to be simply the threat of it. And this is kind of telling, in what perhaps could be considered a nod to the sea mine threat posed by China North Korea. 4 of the U.S. Navy's 14 minesweepers are forward deployed and based in Japan. And 2 of them, the USS Avenger and USS Guardian, participated in this year's massive full legal military exercise in South Korea, dealing with mines. And you know, that would be the place to do it. I mean, even Wiki got this right. A single mine inserted strategically onto a shipping route can stop maritime movements for days while the entire area is swept. Remember the effect of 9/11? When the buildings went down? It shut down Wall Street. It tanked our economy and dang near tanked the world economy. Just because of the fear of something. Just the effect of one mine. You know, this is a Breaking Defense covered this as well. You know, space is at a premium inside a submarine. speaking of submarine deployed mines. However, once a sub has used its cargo, it's got a long journey back, but makes subs the underwater equivalent of a sniper rifle. So they would sneak a small number of sophisticated mines into some crucial choke point, such as a harbor entrance. So there's people that are a couple years ahead of me on this already. This might just have been the first shot. And if someone else can think of another reason why we would have a lone destroyer running dark in this teeny tiny little area right here, where there doesn't seem to be any other reason, then perhaps they were just attempting to clear mines. These things could sit down there forever, be passive, and just wait for the right signature to go by, and boom. And if this came out, it would explain why the Navy doesn't want this out. It would explain the damage to the ship. Because the damage that we've shown to the Fitzgerald is right in line with mine damage to the Princeton, to the Tripoli, to the Samuel B. Roberts. So, anyway, this is a very terrifying thought that someone could do this, or would do this, but it is exactly the history of mine warfare. And if you'd like a good read on this, North Korean protective mine warfare, they've been doing this, the North Koreans, the Chinese, and the Russians. It is a huge part of their naval doctrine, the use of mines. So, like, share, subscribe. I'm sorry this video went a little longer than most, but I really appreciate all the input. This channel has been about you guys, your input and your knowledge. The polite, intelligent, thoughtful, informed conversation that goes on here is absolutely the best on YouTube. We will see you next time. Thank you very much.